Hey everyone, you know what time it is? It's Friday, which means it's time to deploy. We are joined by the lovely and vivacious Dan Garfield from Codefresh. Hi Dan, how are you?
Great to be here, John.
Awesome. So for those who don't know, Dan is joining us from Codefresh. We recently announced our acquisition of Codefresh. We talked about this on the previous episode. So Dan, how's been the week? Last 2 weeks for you? Must have been pretty crazy.
It's been pretty intense. Yeah, that's for sure. We went out and spent. I mean, you were there, but we were all in Australia with the executive team and talking about the plans for the future and how we're going to bring the stuff from Codefresh and Octopus and how we're going to learn from how we're going to get the Codefreshers learning from the Octopus folks and vice versa. And it's pretty whirlwind. Australia's a pretty crazy place. Like I almost stepped on some crazy giant lizards that people call water dragons. And
That's right.
like people were like, "Oh yeah, they're like squirrels or whatever. Don't worry about it."
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right. That's right, Jim. Like, not a big deal, right? How was your week, Jim?
Yeah, good man. It was really good. I just got back. I happened to be up in Brisbane too when Dan and the team were up there last week, so I got to meet a few of them. And then we all got introduced to our Codefresh buddies this week. So I was chatting to some friends on the engineering team. Yeah, it was a fun time.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah. I was
Yeah.
really impressed with the folks that I met.
Yeah.
It's like looking into a mirror. I'm like, oh, these people look like octopus people. They're octonauts. So that's great to see. So for those of you who are just coming, who are just discovered this video online, this is basically a show that we do where we talk about the latest news of the week relative to Octopus Deploy. So with that, let's go ahead and get into it. So through the magic of software, let's talk about it. So, Jim, we have a new release of Octopus Deploy 2024.1 is out. So I
Yeah.
know that you and your fellow buddies on the R&D side had a little bit of work to do with this. So lots of new features in this release, and I'm sure you certainly had some touch points here, particularly around technical communications, I would imagine.
Yeah, that's it. That was, I think, the big one for our team this release. This is really important for like the customers who like one of our big ones. They run like a bunch of car washes, so they've got point of sale systems out there over the public internet. Lots of people with POS systems, big hotel chains that have tablets. Then sometimes the tablets someone turns them off, so you can't deploy to it anymore. So that's what this stuff's really about. It's just really upping the game in terms of communications between technical and server, how to recover from transient failures, detecting permanent failures quicker. So failing fast is always good too. Oh, I've got my thumbs up going. I just updated
There you
my
go.
OS.
Just keep going.
Yeah, so that
This is
was
how
some
we do
really
it.
cool stuff. Yeah, yeah. Just adding,
Awesome.
resilience to that path. I also really love the OIDC stuff that the guys added. That was something
Yeah,
that
yeah,
my,
yeah,
my team didn't work on, but
yeah.
in my DevOps travels, that chicken and egg problem of getting a secret into a system that's controlled by someone else is always the thing that makes your life hard. And to just be able to have it all hooked up with OIDC to start with is really going to enable people to move faster, I think.
Yeah, so what we have here, for those who don't know, is a new feature that was first introduced in 2023.4, OIDC connections, which would allow you to have remote connections talk to Octopus. This feature that we've just added is the ability for Octopus to talk to AWS via OIDC. So you can set up an AWS account, and connect to it without the need for an API key, which is the whole reason behind, to a certain extent, utilizing OIDC, that you negate the need for having these sort of transient API keys that get thrown around a lot, which we've done for many years. And this is part of the reason why we're doing OIDC support. If you're a fan of JFrog and Artifactory, we support generic repositories now. So this is now available as your list of feeds that are available. As Bob and I talk about, which I'll mention in a second here, you got to be careful with your regex expressions when finding packages. Jim talked a little bit about the resilient technical communications, improved performance because we've upgraded to .NET 8, and then better layout for the UI. There's a bunch of other stuff that's coming. You'll find it on our roadmap, which I've always said, make it your homepage, the roadmap page. If not, make it a bookmark. But if you're at all interested in finding out more about what's new, Bob and I recorded this video earlier today, and we talked a little bit about all the features. We went through each one. We did a little bit of demos and stuff. So feel free to check that out. That's up on our YouTube channel. And then second to that, I hosted the Octopus 101 earlier today, where I talked about Octopus and basically allowed to have some folks see me kick the tires of Octopus. So that's another video that we've published to our channel, which are available on our YouTube channel. So go to /Octopus Deploy to see more about that. But yeah, 2024.1, it's out. We tied into all our blog posts. Great to see. And so feel free to download it now. We've got a bunch of events, including yourself, Dan. We'll be at KubeCon coming up, but before that, we'll be at DDD Melbourne. So feel free to check us out there if at all. But Dan, tell us a little bit about KubeCon. You guys are doing ArgoCon and KubeCon in Paris. What's going on here?
Yeah, so for those that aren't familiar, ArgoCon is a conference where we focus on all things Argo. This is Argo CD, Argo workflows. We've been doing it for a couple of years now, and we started doing it co-located with KubeCon last year, just because there was a lot of popular demand for that, because a lot of people are like, hey, I only got one trip approved for the year. I'm going to KubeCon. I would love to be able to go to ArgoCon too. So we started co-locating it. So if you go on we used to call it day 0. I think now we call it day 1. But basically before KubeCon, the day before KubeCon really starts, you have ArgoCon. And there's going to be, I think 30, 40 different speakers. We got a couple of tracks. We've got a ton of end user talks. And then we're highlighting here on this page, this is codefresh.io/ArgoCon, and we're showing all of the talks that people from Codefresh or customers and stuff are giving. So let's see, Colin from Octopus, the SVP product, he and I are going to be giving a keynote talking about kind of the ongoing investment into the Argo community and what that's going to look like in the world of Octopus, because Codefresh was a little more scrappy startup, and Octopus is more of a titan, taking over software delivery. So we're gonna have a little bit more muscle to bring. So Colin and I will be talking about that.
Sorry, I have to interrupt you. Jim, did you hear what he said? We're a titan.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I've never been called a titan before. Sorry. Go ahead.
Love it.
We're on our way, man. I think you look at it, it's the growth is great. So I think Octopus is going to take over the world. Our tentacles will reach everywhere.
Nice.
So yeah, we'll have a bunch of talks. I'm going to give a talk with Luke from the New York Times on application sets and some interesting features there. We've got some panels. Kostas from my team is talking. Laurent is talking. So a bunch of Codefreshers will be there. And I know a lot of the Codefresh and Octopus now. We're supposed to be. We're all Octonauts.
Yes.
There's still kind of a Codefresh brand inside of the business, and there's an Octopus brand inside of the business. But I think it'll be the first chance that a lot of the pre-acquisition and post-acquisition Octonauts are going to be able to mingle, because we're going to have a lot of folks from both sides of the business in Paris. So that'll be cool. We got our booths right next to each other. So if you come over to the Octopus booth, if you're used to Octopus, you can literally go next door and be like, okay, well, so what's the new stuff that's coming from Codefresh? What should I look forward to as an Octopus user, and vice versa? If you're a Codefresh user, we're gonna check out the Octopus stuff. And
this is the floor plan for KubeCon. So there you go. If you got to find us, we'll be side by side. Look for either the big green leafy logo or the big octopus. I know that sounds weird, but we'll be right next to each other. So there you go. We'll have swag. We'll have stickers. It's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be better than cats.
Should we say a limited edition
that's right.
Octopus Codefresh acquisition T-shirt to celebrate the occasion?
Yes, we'll have some limited edition T-shirts that may never get printed again for various reasons. But we printed off just for a one-time event, so we will have those there, and we'll have stickers. And you guys have some really cool looking swag. Lots of Argo swag. I love CI/CD. If it's not, what does this say? If it's not
in Git, it's just a rumor.
Oh, sorry. I couldn't read what in. I thought that said P4. Awesome.
That's awesome. In the end, we probably won't have any mugs, but we will have some great Argo T-shirts and some CSD T-shirts. So
fantastic. Awesome.
And I just confirmed that we're going to be giving away a bunch of lightsabers. Just around
wow.
Yeah, we heard about Dan. We heard a little bit about you before you joined, and the photo of you holding a lightsaber was shared widely across the company. So I'm happy to hear that the lightsabers are making a comeback. That's great.
Okay, well, hopefully that made a good impression. You guys probably just thought, who are these dorks that are coming up?
No. We were thinking they're just like us.
I know
That's awesome.
Ray, who's on the team in the Brisbane office, was like, it's like as soon as I saw a lightsaber, I was like, I'm gonna duel him as soon as he gets here. And they were like, no, you can't challenge somebody that's new to the company. Like you have to let him settle in.
So Dan's referring to Ray, who's our legal counsel, and he actually does he works with actual swords. So yeah, I don't think a plastic lightsaber will hold up against an actual sword. But
not as part of his role as legal counsel, by the way. Like it's a hobby.
That's right. Yeah, just to clarify, we don't want to put Ray.
I mean, who's to say it's not part of the role?
That's right. I just wanted to round up by showing some photos from our presence over at DevOps Live in London. This is members of the team here. We had a great time there talking to customers and giving out all kinds of swag. Some of this may be at KubeCon. Who knows? Maybe. And we had a great time chatting with customers. We had a packed booth. It was a great time had by all. And so thanks to everyone who showed up. It was great to see you all. And we hope to do it again very, very soon. So that is our presence at DevOps Live. Anyways, that wraps it up for another edition of Deploy on Friday. Dan, thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it. I'm sure putting a face to a name is going to help a lot of folks on the Octopus side. Of course, the folks over at Codefresh know you well. And anyways, if you happen to catch this video on your way rummaging through YouTube, let us know by liking and subscribing to this video. Otherwise, send us a comment. Let us know if there's something you would like to talk about. Anyways, we'll talk to you next week on Deploy on Friday. Take care, everyone.